Hello everyone, welcome back to Cozy Tea. Today I'm going to show you how I made this bubbly cauldron animation using Procreate Dreams. So sit back, get cozy, and let's get into the process. Starting off is the traditional art process. I am using oil pastels on sand grain paper. I only finished the traditional piece partially, so I'm going to finish the rest of it in Procreate in just a second. I chose to do it this way because I was having some issues with the glass that she's holding, the little potion glass, in addition to the shelf. I decided that it would just be easier to go in and make the back of the bookshelf a separate layer, so I could just black it out and then finish drawing all the stuff on the bookshelf on a separate layer. Can't deny the usefulness of digital art when it comes in for moments like this. First thing in Procreate, I decided to change her hair color because I wanted it to be like a magenta purple, but then I went with blue because I was having issues with those colors in my oil pastel. And then when I was playing around with HSB in Procreate, I decided to go with like an indigo. So I do her nails, I draw the potion bottle, I finish the stuff on the shelf, and this is everything that happens in Procreate and sets me up for what I need to do in Procreate Dreams coming up next. The first thing I do is I'm going to erase the bottle. I'm going to go back into Procreate, I'm going to select it and put it on a new layer and then drag it over as its own frame. I'm going to extend that across the whole timeline and then lower the opacity so it looks like it's glass. And then I'm going to add some highlights and stuff on a separate layer so that that is at full opacity. The reason I'm doing this is because I want the liquid to be visible through the bottle. But in order for me to do that on the original frame, I had to lower the opacity of everything, including everything else in the image, and that's just not going to work today. To lower the opacity, you just go to the timeline, you hit that movie icon, you click filter, and then you can play with the opacity as much as you want. The pour is just a frame by frame animation. So I go through in flipbook mode, draw a line, next, draw a line, next, so on and so forth until it is complete. I go through a second time to add highlights to it so it makes it a little bit more dynamic. And that's it. Now you've got the frame by frame pour. Play it back. You know, sometimes I don't even think about how to say this shit before I even do it. So I'm sitting here watching my video back and I always have to say to myself, how do I explain this to people? I don't know how to explain this rotation to y'all. I just drew them a little bit differently every time. And I feel like that doesn't get you anywhere, but you can use the video as supplement to show. And forgive me for a lack of a better explanation. I appreciate you listening anyway. I just add a little bit more to the swirl every single time until it gets big enough that I can't really translate that anymore because of the lack of space that there is. And then as it gets bigger, I just expand the circle out farther. And I just move those lines in and out a little bit every time I draw it. So when you play it back real quick, it just looks like it's spinning. I think it's really important to keep in mind not to overthink your process and not to in addition to having unrealistic expectations. Sometimes I see stuff in my head and I always think of like high production value stuff, which anybody can do. I see people working on stuff all the time and I'm just blown away by the talent and skill that some of these amazing animators on this platform have. But this is just Cozy T. I'm one person, an amateur at best. At best, I'm humble. And we only got 497 subs, which means we're 3 away from 500. If you are so inclined, if you would be interested, if you don't mind hitting the subscribe button, just 3 of y'all will change that 4 to a 5. Thank you. You can also like the video. I believe if you like the video on PC, I think even also on mobile, you get like a little celebration animation. It's fun. It's not mine though. YouTube does that by itself, but it's worth checking out. Go and check it out. To create a fluorescent glow, if you will, I took the light brush and I went over certain parts of the drawing to add that magenta shine to show, you know, some illumination coming from the cauldron, if you will. I drag that layer across the whole timeline so it's this big frame and it's just one image. So I go and I hit the record icon, I go to the beginning of the timeline, hit the movie icon, select filters, go to opacity, and I've got my motion filter on 0% here, so it's gonna record all my movement, okay? And I just drag it back and forth, not too fast, not too slow, but enough to give a breathing so that it looks like it's glowing and shining. And then I finished. I went across the whole timeline like that, and that was it. The last part of the animation is the bubbles. This is also done frame by frame. I just drew a different circle up above the circle that I drew the last time. That's literally it. And then when I wanted them to pop, I did little lines. I did 4, 1 going north, south, east, and west. And then on the next frame, I did them a little bit farther from where they were before and a little bit shorter. And then when you play it back, it looks like they're popping and it's real fun. Short and sweet. I'm gonna play the animation here in a second. I'm gonna have a bunch of new sounds and music and stuff playing to make it a little bit more of an experience. So get ready for that. All right, y'all, that's the whole video for today. This one was rather simple, a little bit more than the other ones, but we got the Christmas season coming after this and I'm gonna be busy trying to make more videos than I typically do. And I'm very excited for that. So stay tuned, stay amazing, stay beautiful, stay true, stay you, and above all else, stay cozy. Y'all, I will see you in the next video. Stay cozy. Peace.